So we skipped ahead to substitution instead of day 2. We looked at day 3 and we started with this problem. Farmer Joe had some chickens and some cows and he forgot how many of each he had. But he knows that there are 37 heads and there are 22 legs. Highlight that. 122 legs. How many of each does he have? So there's many different ways that you can solve this, but today we're going to use substitution to model one way to solve it. So the first thing is we can assign x and y to be, there's two animals, chickens and cows. So let's just say that x is the number of chickens, and then y will be the number of cows, and then we'll write an equation. So first for the number of heads, we know a chicken has one head, so we can say x for every chicken plus y for every cow total. We have 37. So there's our heads equation. Now for legs, a chicken has 2 legs, a cow has 4 legs, and total there's 122 legs. So we could graph these and solve, and what we're trying to find is the point of intersection. That's solving a system being 2 or more equations that you're solving. Another way is we can use substitution. So substitution kind of starts out the same as graphing. We're going to pick an equation and solve for one of the variables. So we have x plus y equals 37. Let's just get one of these variables by itself. So let's just, solve for y. So, and again, you can choose x or y. I'll just solve for y. So we'll subtract x from each side, and we'll get y equals 37 minus x. All right, now the substitution happens like this. Everywhere we see a y in the second equation, we know that it's equal to 37 minus x. They're equivalent. And so we're going to substitute it in, or plug it in, for this y right here. And that's called substitution. So it looks like this. We have 2x plus 4, and instead of y, we're going to plug in what is equal to y but looks different, and that's 37 minus x. That'll equal 122. Okay, now we can solve one equation because we have the one variable there. So we'll have 2x plus, and we'll distribute. So 4 times 37, 148, minus 4x, and that equals 122. And then from here, you should know how to solve. We'll combine like terms. We can put our x's together. We have negative 2x plus 148 equals 122. We can subtract 148 from each side. And I'm out of room here, so I'm going to go up here. So we have negative 2x equals, negative 26. We'll divide each side by negative 2. And so we get x equals 13. So we know that in this system, these two lines cross at 13 for the x value, and this is the number of chickens. So there's 13 chickens. So to figure out the number of cows, we know that there's 37 animals total. So the number of cows we can plug in, minus the number of chickens, we know that there's 13 chickens, and that will give us the number of cows. So we have 24 cows, and 13 chickens would have 37 heads and 122 legs. We can also write this, since it's essentially where two lines cross, we can write it as a coordinate. 1324 is the solution to this system. So that's an example of substitution. So in class we did another example. Solve the mystery problem using substitution. The sum of two numbers is 52. The difference between the numbers is 38. What are the two numbers? So I'm just going to pick the two numbers to be x and y. You can choose any two variables. X plus y. And if the sum is 52, we'll write 52. The difference, so if we subtract them, x minus y equals 38. So again, we could graph these and we could find the point of intersection. That's solving the system. Another way is to use substitution. So we're just going to pick an equation. It doesn't matter which one. So just pick the top one and let's solve for a variable. You can solve for x or y. So you have x plus y equals 52. Since we solve for y last time. I'm going to solve for x. Doesn't matter which one you choose. So subtract y from each side, and we get x equals 52 minus y. So now we're going to substitute. Let's choose a different color. Everywhere we see an x in the second equation, we're going to plug in 52 minus y. And so the equation we haven't used is the green one. We're going to plug in right here. So the substitution looks like this. We have 52 minus y minus another y equals 38. And then we can solve. So 52 minus 2y equals 38. We'll subtract 52 from each side. So I get negative 14. So negative 2y equals negative 14. We'll divide each side by negative 2. So y will equal 7. But again, we're looking for the point of intersection. So to solve for the x value, we can plug into this equation or either of the two original equations. This one will be the easiest one to plug into because we want x. So x will be 52 minus 7. So here the x value is 45. So these two lines, they do cross, and they cross at the coordinate 45, 7. Okay, in our last problem, use substitution to solve for the phone problem. Let's say you lease a phone for $41,667 a month, plus you pay $55 a month for voice and data. So what that looks like, the monthly cost, if we add those two together, that would be $96,667 per month. So every month we're paying about $97. In Plan 2, you can buy the phone from Apple. You can pay $1,000 up front. And same plan as before, we're taking $55 a month or paying that per month for voice and data. So that we know that this one's cheaper at first, but at some rate, at some time, is it going to surpass the cost of this one because it's just so much steeper of a slope? Like the slope is so much bigger, $97 a month versus $55. So the question is, are they ever the same amount? And if so, when? And how much have we paid then for the phones at that point? So to use substitution, they both are y equals. So you can just set them equal. You can just plug in or substitute for y. So of 96,667x equals 1,000 plus 55x. And then you can solve that. So we'll subtract 55 from each side. We'll get our 41,667x equals 1,000. Divide by 41,667. So x is, I think it's like 23.99. Let me try it. 0.9998. Let's round that to 24. So what this means is at 24 months, both plans cost the same. So the first plan was cheaper until 2 years have passed, and then at 2 years you've paid the same amount for both plans. And then after that, since you paid the same amount, at 24 months after that, the second equation will be cheaper because it's only $55 a month. All right, let's figure out how much have we paid at the time. So to figure out how much we've paid, we can plug into either equation. You can plug into this one or into this one. I'll just plug into this one. So we'd have y equals 96,667 times 23.9998. I'll just round that to 24 months. And so this will be about $2,320 that we've paid for each plan after 2 years. So substitution can help with like decision making and so on. All right, so in class, then we have a Desmos to work on. It's called Line Zapper, and that's on Schoology. We're going to review these two examples then the next time we meet. And again, your assignment is called Line Zapper, and you can use the rest of this as scratch paper.